Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first podcast for 2021. Glad to have you with us. Hope 2021 is starting off a little bit different than 2020. For me, it's been a little bit interesting. Had my computer crash. Haven't been able to set up my microphone properly, so I'm going off of the computer microphone. Hopefully this will sound all right. But with everything else going on, it's been an eventful week and a half, 2 weeks of 2021. Which has really kind of gotten me thinking to all the things that have been happening, the stress, the external pressures that have been coming on to us as leaders, individuals, us as organizations to try and manage through all of the complexities that are being put upon us. It makes me think of Whitewater Rapids and trying to navigate through the different classifications and how alignment to mission and vision and leading in that aligned manner can go and help you be able to go and lead your teams to greater performance. So now, Whitewater Rapids have 5 classifications, from 1 to 5, 5 being those ones that you see in the videos that are just absolute nuts, and you wonder how they get through them without killing themselves. 1 is that lazy float down the river that you could have an inner tube with some friends and you're lazing around on an afternoon, or you're canoeing and just kind of chilling out. And each one of those classifications require a certain level of commitment by employees to processes and procedures, as well as alignment. In the early stages, it's obvious that not everyone has to be putting their oars in the water at the same time. They don't need to worry about navigating away from the big rapids or the big rocks that can do some serious damage. But as the classifications get higher and higher, you need to have the processes and procedures, the strategic plan in place, understanding that as there's more rapids coming up, okay, how do we want to go and manage these? Not only to be able to go and keep away from danger, but to use the speed of those rapids to be able to propel you forward in ways that the other boats can't, or they're not prepared to. So when you prepare for those rapids to come up, you have everyone in that raft saying, okay, here's your job. Here's what we're looking to do. We want to hit the rapids at this particular point. Watch out for these rocks here. If we see that we're a little off, we're getting close to it, we're going to need to be able to go and adjust. So there's preparation involved. Be able to manage the stress that's going to be involved with the higher classification. Most organizations can go and handle some rapids, some big boulders in the way. But what's happened with us in 2020 and now in 2021 with COVID, with, if you're a global company, all the aspects of Brexit coming through, the political instability here in the United States that's been going on, the way that we've had to go and deal with quarantines and stay at homes and trying to go and mix work and home and trying to lead in an aligned manner in a virtual environment. Some of us have gotten to the 5th classification, those real nuts rapids that you see in the Rockies. When you see those videos, what do you see? You don't see rowers bailing water out. Because if they're all sitting there ready to go and take the water that is in the boat, they're not steering to be able to navigate the rapids and use its strength against it and propel forward. There's preparation. There's communication. There's teamwork going through, managing the nuances and the changes that come that are put upon them. But since they know that those things could happen, they're prepared to move through. And yes, it's stressful. And sometimes boats don't make it without getting cut up or crashing. And we're seeing a lot of organizations that haven't been ready to be able to handle Class 5 rapids. And they're going away. You may be seeing it now as things linger on and there's some new jolts to the system. That you've been working at Class 4 rapids and you've been keeping your head above water and you're doing all right and you've made changes and things have been streamlined and your employees are working well. But then Class 5 comes and maybe you're not ready. What can you do as a leader to be able to go and help your teams, the teams that you lead, the organizations that you lead, to be able to go and manage through Class 5 rapids? First thing, you need to remain calm. If you need to take some time away from the group and let out a primal scream and wondering how you're going to deal with this, do it. Because you're going to need to go and have that emotional release so you can go and have the resiliency to be there for the teams and the people that you lead. And by staying calm, you're really going to be able to go and assess the situation, saying this has come upon us. We can't control it, but we have to go and work within it. What's the plan? Do we go and chat with everyone involved saying, hey, we're being faced with this. We see that there's some implications here, here, and here. What can we do? And bringing all those other people together. This is part of number 2. When they're involved in understanding the problem and bringing forth a quality solution, they're going to be rowing that boat with you in cadence to be able to go and work through the rapids the right way, the drops that will come. They'll be able to communicate together. They'll be more empowered. They're going to hold each other accountable because they know that they need to rally around each other in Class 5 rapids. Number 3, I mentioned earlier about none of the rowers are actually bailing out water. You need to make certain, though, if there's too much water getting in the boat to the point where you might be sinking. There will be water in the boat. Make no bones about it. And you may need to have someone step back and bail some water out, patch up a hole. Because when you're going through all this stuff and you're going into new areas, you're going to find some areas of weakness, lack of resiliency, and you may need to shore that up. So while you're leading out in front with your team, you're also making sure that you understand that you don't forget what's happening in the back of the boat. Because if they're crashing and burning, it's all going down. So you make sure that you keep an eye on how the overall boat is doing as you're moving through the rapids and allocate resources as needed. 4, vision how this may end, when the Class 5 rapids may finish, or you get to a point that you've become really good at Class 5 river rafting, that you'll be able to handle anything. Because if you can handle Class 5, unless there's a Class 6 that comes up somehow in our worlds over the next several months, if you can manage through Class 5 through alignment to the mission and vision, making sure you're always doing that, you are going to have one heck of a high-performing team. Stay calm. Bring the team in. Make sure you understand if too much water is coming into the boat. Vision out what the end is going to look like. because you need to understand where the end is at to be able to go and make the right adjustments while you're rafting. Those are the four main points. But while you're doing this, celebrate and recognize the great work that the people are doing. Recognize that they're going to be stressed out. Maybe they need to take a little bit of time. Be empathetic. Show grace. Believe in your team and help them set the fire out within them to be able to take on this great challenge. When you come out the other end of the rapids, you'll be able to assess and post-mortem, because these people realize they've been through hell and made it. What worked? What didn't? Where are the opportunities to go from there? Because of the new capacities and capabilities that you have, you'll be able to do some great things. So coming up, we're going to have a couple of really interesting interviews. One will be the CEO of the YMCA of the North, handling the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, Minnesota area, and Beth Zemsky, a wonderful civil rights, social justice activist, will be talking about how the different things that are going on in our communities can be connected to alignment to mission and vision, as well as diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we have a couple of great episodes coming up over the next month or so, as well as a couple of other items. The book, Art of Alignment, done by Art Johnson, a little bit of contribution from me, coming out February 16. Pre-orders are available. Search for The Art of Alignment by Art Johnson and pre-order the book. We'd really appreciate it. But we'll be sending out some more content through our channels about the book launch and all the great things that we're doing. Remember, if you have a question or an issue, bring it up to me. I'd love to be able to get to understand the questions that you have, because once again, if you have those questions, other people have those questions too. And we want to be able to share and collaborate and learn from one another. Happy New Year. We'll see each other again soon. Cheers.